The restaurant went silent the moment he walked in. Not quiet. Not calm. Silent. Like the air itself was holding its breath. The chandelier lights shimmered over polished marble floors as every fork paused midair. Conversations died mid-sentence. Even the pianist in the corner faltered for half a second before forcing his fingers back onto the keys. Because everyone recognized him. Victor Romano. The most feared mafia boss in the city. A man whose name alone could close businesses, freeze bank accounts, or make people disappear without explanation. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten loudly. He didn't need to. His reputation did the talking. And tonight, he wasn't alone. Behind him stood 4 men in tailored black suits, faces expressionless, movements synchronized. They scanned the room like predators calculating distance. The manager rushed forward instantly, nearly tripping over himself. "Mr. Romano, what an honor, your usual private room is ready." Victor raised one hand. The manager froze mid-sentence. "I'll sit out here tonight." The entire dining hall felt that. Out here meant public. Out here meant someone was about to be very uncomfortable. His eyes slowly scanned the room until they stopped at her. A waitress. Young. Maybe 22. Simple black uniform. Hair tied back in a low ponytail. No heavy makeup. No nervous fidgeting like the others. She was refilling water at table 7. And unlike everyone else, she didn't stare. She didn't whisper. She didn't rush. She just worked. Victor's lips twitched slightly. Interesting. He walked to a central table and sat down. The manager signaled frantically toward the staff. "Send Elena," he whispered urgently. The waitress looked up. "Elena, table 12. She nodded calmly and walked over, not too fast, not too slow. The entire room watched her approach what most people considered a lion's den. She stopped at the table. "Good evening. Welcome. May I get you something to drink?" Her voice didn't tremble. Didn't shake. Didn't break. Victor leaned back in his chair, studying her like she was a puzzle. "You know who I am?" "Yes." No hesitation. "And you're not nervous?" She gave a small polite smile. "I treat every guest the same, sir." One of the men behind him scoffed softly. Victor leaned forward now, resting his forearms on the table. "Then treat me." She handed him a menu. "Our chef recommends the truffle steak tonight. But if you'd prefer something off-menu, I can arrange it." There it was again. Composure. Control. Respect. But no fear. Victor tapped the table lightly. "Bring me your most expensive bottle of wine." "Of course. And if it's not perfect," he added quietly, "you'll pay for it." The room stiffened. Everyone knew what that meant. She didn't argue. Didn't flinch. She simply nodded. Understood. When she walked away, whispers erupted immediately. "She's finished. She has no idea. He's playing with her." But Victor's eyes followed her the entire time. She returned with the bottle. Opened it carefully. Poured precisely. Her hands steady. He took a sip. Paused. The tension became unbearable. Then he slowly placed the glass down. "It's warm." Gasps echoed across the room. The manager's face drained of color. I'm so sorry, sir." Victor raised his hand again. His eyes stayed on Elena. "You serve warm wine to all your guests." Her expression didn't change. "No, sir." "So why me?" The trap was clear. One wrong word could cost her job. Or worse. But Elena gently picked up the bottle, examined it, then met his eyes. "The bottle is the correct temperature," she said calmly. "However, the glass has been sitting under chandelier lighting. It slightly affects perception." The room froze. She continued. "If you allow me, I'll replace the glass immediately." Silence. Absolute silence. One of the bodyguards shifted slightly. Victor's gaze sharpened. "You're telling me I'm wrong?" "No, sir," she replied evenly. "I'm saying I can improve your experience." There was no arrogance. No sarcasm. Just professionalism. The kind that doesn't bow, but doesn't challenge either. For a long moment, Victor said nothing. Then suddenly, he laughed. Not loudly, but genuinely. And that shocked everyone more than anything else. "Replace the glass," he said. She did. He tasted again. Perfect. He nodded once. The manager nearly collapsed in relief. But Victor wasn't finished. As she turned to leave, he spoke again. "Sit." Every head snapped toward the table. Elena paused. Employees were not allowed to sit with guests. Especially not with him. But she pulled out the chair slowly and sat, posture straight. "Yes, sir." "Tell me," he said quietly, so only she could hear, "what would you do if I decided to ruin this restaurant tonight?" She held his gaze. "I would still come to work tomorrow." His eyes narrowed. "Even if I destroyed it?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because fear doesn't build anything," she said. "Work does." The words hit harder than she realized. The men behind Victor exchanged subtle glances. No one spoke to him like that. Ever. He studied her face carefully. There was something behind her calm. Strength. But not defiance. Responsibility. He leaned closer. "And if I offered you a job?" "I already have one." "What if I paid you 10 times more?" "I'm not for sale." The room felt electric now. Victor sat back slowly. "Everyone is." She shook her head gently. "Not everyone." A pause. "Some of us are building something bigger than money." For the first time that night, Victor Romano had no immediate reply. He waved his hand dismissively. "Go back to work." She stood and left. The restaurant slowly resumed breathing. But Victor remained still. Watching her. Thinking. And for the first time in years. Intrigued. Because he hadn't come to dinner for food. He had come for a test. And somehow, the waitress had passed. But he wasn't done. Not even close. And what he would do next would shock the entire room.